It's me. He was wearing his father's coronation robes. Through most of the portrait was a close-up of his face. His hair was angelic blonde, his eyes unnaturally blue, his skin as pure as gold dust. Everything about the tattoos in the painting seemed more tattoos than the real him, including his piercing, omniscient gaze. These tattoos were strong, mature, unflappable. These tattoos looked like a king. Who drew it? I didn't sit for a royal portrait. That's because it was painted 16 years ago, Lady Grimling answered, cinching her turban. Your father commissioned it from a year after you were born. In his will, he said it was to be put up on your coronation day in the Hall of Kings. Looking around, Tetris noticed that the art was arranged in chronological columns, with each king's coronation portrait surrounded by smaller paintings of triumphant moments. One day, your war will be complete too, said Lady Grimling. Tetris honed in on his father's column. While Tetris' coronation painting was beautiful and inspiring, others portrayed him as a scrawny, tremulous, red-faced teenager who didn't look capable of brushing his own teeth, let alone running Camelot. This is that, Tetris said. Painted by the palace artist on the morning of his coronation, per tradition, Lady Grimling confirmed. Given the result, your father fired the artists, and to ensure your coronation painting would be to his liking, he solicited the seer to imagine yours upon your birth, a portrait that would capture the sense of your soul and future. But if that hated his so much, why would he leave it up? Oh, he made us take it down again and again. But in time, it would always mysteriously in return, mostly likely by his own hand. It became quite clear that, though your father loved the painting, he also couldn't pass with it. Perhaps it reminded him of the real Arthur before his time at the school for good and evil changed him. Tetris looked at her, puzzled. He was crowned before he went to school, but he wouldn't have been old in love. How little you know of your father, his steward said drolly. Back then, Camelot was so in need of a leader that they crowned Arthur even though he wasn't yet 16, which means he attended school as a legitimate king and an instant celebrity. No doubt you endured this yourself as a famous prince, with girls desperate to be your queen. You have no idea, Tetris murmured, thinking of Sophie. The difference is that you spent your whole life knowing you would be king, while Arthur was an ordinary boy who accidentally found himself the most powerful ruler in the woods. One morning, he had gone out furiously seeking in a new ward for his master. Arthur had been punished for losing the old one, and he stumbled upon Excalibur, trapped in an anvil in the village square. He pulled the sword easily, without a second thought, intending to return it to the stone at a later date. What he didn't know was that Excalibur had been placed in that stone by the Lady of the Lake to settle the question of who would rule Camelot after a violent spirit of chaos and anarchy. Thousands had come from all over the woods to try their hand at the sword before Arthur freed it from the stone without any knowledge of the consequences. So, when he set for this portrait, he was still very much a scared young boy, but also sensitive and whip-smart. Is why Merlin took so strongly to him, as did I. Perhaps it's the only area where the wizard and I ever agreed. Tetros looked back at his father's face, so lost and overwhelmed, and for a moment it felt like Tetros was looking at his own. Unloved, he shifted to another painting, this one of his mother and Arthur praying with their baby son, while a young, dark-haired female stood in the shadows. His father was holding the baby up in the air as his mother tickled the boy's stomach. Tetros found himself smiling before he remembered everything that happened between his parents once that baby grew up. Did your father really never mention my name to you? Lady Grimling asked. Not even once. Lady Grimling took this in with a wry grin. Like father, like son. Tetros furrowed, not understanding. When Agatha was pressing to see you, I pointed out that you two never mentioned her name to me, not even once, said Lady Grimling. Taking the women in your life for granted seems a shared trait. Well, Agatha and I are very different from you and my father, obviously. Tetros nodded. How long did you even know him? His steward paused before answering. Arthur and I grew up together. I'm not so much older than he was. We met because I was a housemaid to Sir Ethel, Arthur's master, when Arthur was brought from the orphanage. Arthur and I soon became friends, for we were both treated quite poorly as children. So